So, I've come down to Portreath. Don't worry, I'm not staying here tonight. Mainly, not only because they don't really allow camper vans in this car park, even though there's another guy just over there with a very similar van to mine. But here in this car park, it's not that they don't like overnighters. They literally don't like camper vans in this car park, full stop. And the reason is because they take up more than one space. So if this was like a really, really busy summer's day, they wouldn't be happy with that guy because his van is taking up more than one space. So you're probably thinking, well, yeah, well, Sean, why are you here then? I'm here because I'm going to go for a walk on the beach because we've got a lot to catch up on. I may sound like I've got a cold. That's because I have. I've also, I've gone kind of deaf in one ear as well. It's all sinus related. So I probably should have stayed at home rather than making this video today, but I needed to get out of the house. I need to get a bit of fresh air because it's just the cold. So even though I've got a cold, I want to get out of the house and do things, I've been told by my doctor that I need to take it easy. I can't do too much walking. And you're probably thinking, well, what's wrong? 5 days ago I had a small procedure, which in my opinion it was a huge procedure, but my wife says it was nothing. And it's preventing me from going swimming for like 2 weeks. I definitely can't go surfing for a while, and I'm not really allowed to like go on hikes or anything. I figured I'd just come down to this easy access beach so I can just go for a quick walk and just get some fresh air. I'm not going to tell you what the procedure was, but most of you will probably know what it is. Just have a think about it while I sit here and eat my jelly babies. Right. So I'm hoping this is going to be a nice, chilled out, just regular stealth camp. We've got a lot to catch up on, and in this video I will be revealing the winner of the Blue Betty giveaway. So if anything, it's worth sticking around for that. Right, so let's go for a walk on this beach. Oh, even just stepping out hurts. Poor old dogs, eh? Tell you what, it's a lot calmer down here than the last time I was here. I was born again to a tape cassette. You danced all around me. I got upset. Looked for me all night in the winter rain. If you don't come home, boy. So when I said I definitely can't go in the sea, and you're probably thinking, well, Sean, you've been in the sea like once this year so far. Well, behind the scenes, I've actually been going surfing once a week with a friend of mine, just to sort of try and build my fitness back up. And I'll be honest with you, it's been so good that I've decided to treat myself to a new board. It's being shaped at the moment, so it's not going to be ready for a few weeks. But I figured if you want to sort of jump back into something and get the passion back for doing it, then a new surfboard would help. For those of you that remember some of my older videos, I used to have that surfboard that was at the back of the van. It was sort of hanging on the wall, and I still have that, and I could use that, but because I'm not very fit at the moment, and it's a 6 foot board, which if anyone knows anything about surfboards, the smaller they are, the harder they are to sort of catch waves with. So I've gone for a longer board. I'm just really excited to start using it, but obviously it's not ideal that I can't go in the sea until I'm fully mended. When the hammer struck, we went our separate ways. We stood behind the pulpit. I didn't know who else to blame. And now it's time for me to tell you about today's video sponsor, Level 8. And they've kindly supplied me with this, the Voyager 28-inch. Big thanks to them for sponsoring this video. And if you're anything like me and you take a lot of trips, I mean, granted, I know that I only take short trips when I'm out in the van, but my wife is always booking us in at places like Centre Parks and places like that, where I need to take a little bit more stuff with me. And that's where this comes in. Now, I could tell you about the German-made Macrolon polycarbonate construction, but let's face it, you'd probably rather me show you just how strong these things are. All I'm saying is,
they're built to last. And not to mention the TSA approved locks for streamlined security checks. And I know that the TSA approved because it says on the lock TSA 007. And it has 360-degree quiet spinner wheels for graceful maneuvering. Another thing with a lot of suitcases nowadays as well, they only come with 2 wheels. So when you're wheeling them around, you can only literally just go one way, forward and back. But because this one's got 4 wheels, you can turn around in circles, you can just literally hold it next to you and wheel it along. But then if you like the traditional dragging it behind you, you can also do that. It has a micro diamond finish for a refined, resilient exterior. The aluminium alloy telescopic handle is perfect for comfortable travels. It also has an interior compression system as well for neat, secure stowing. So you can pretty much pack even more luggage into this by compressing it all down. And if you're the sort of person that when you're away on holiday, you like to do laundry, it has a dry-wet separation pocket to stop the rest of your clothes from getting wet. And I've just realised as well, I didn't mention, it even comes with a lifetime warranty. So if you click on the link in the description and use my discount code lovesundays, you will get 10% off. Thank you again to Level 8 for sponsoring today's video.
Right, well, I need to think about where I'm going to stay tonight. Right, well, I think I might know the perfect spot. I think this is a alright area. I mean, these little sort of pull-ins are owned by the National Trust, and I hear rumours all the time about them coming by in the middle of the night, like 3 AM in the morning or whatever, giving you a knock and telling you to move on. But I always see camper vans parked in here overnight, so they're either getting moved on or they're not. It's gonna be a little bit windy up here tonight, I think. Cheers. Oh, Does anyone think that I'm weird? Don't answer that. Does anyone think that I'm weird, that I'm actually really excited about staying and using the sort of stealth van more than I am about using this huge space that I've got here? I've mentioned this before, but as the Vivaro is pretty much nearly finished, and I've been spending a lot of time in there just doing the finishing touches. There will be one more video on that build series where I literally just lay the floor, do all the little finishing touches that I need to do so that it's all ready for me to start using on a weekly basis. The reason why I'm so excited about sort of using it is because this, to me, I've said it before and I'll say it again, this to me just doesn't feel like camping. If I was living in my van, this would still probably wouldn't be big enough because I'd want a shower. Because I don't live in it, coming away every week in this, I'm not sure whether the novelty has worn off, but for me, on my own, because let's face it, I pretty much come on these trips on my own, I prefer a sort of cozier, smaller space. I mean, don't get me wrong, I might change my mind once I've been using the Vivaro for a few weeks and I can't stand up and I might be banging my head all the time and getting annoyed with it. I'm not going to have as much storage space. But the way I'm thinking at the moment is that a smaller confined van is the way to go. And I have to start thinking about what I actually need, you know? I mean, in the cupboard of this van, I mean, let me show you. I have got, appliance-wise, a slow cooker, a cooktop, a George Foreman grill, an air fryer, and obviously the kettle as well lives in there. And that's just the appliances, and then you think about, I've got pots and pans and cutlery and everything. Now, this kitchen's quite big, so I'm quite fortunate that I've got enough space for all that stuff. But in this new Vivaro, which is obviously a lot smaller space and it's got a smaller kitchen, I really need to think about what I use regularly and what I never use. So like the slow cooker, I've probably used that once. That can go. The air fryer, I've not used it for a while, but it's a handy tool to have, so I'll be keeping that. The kettle, I'm not going to be taking that kettle. I've got a sort of energy saving one, which is like a travel kettle, which I'll be using in the Vivaro. I don't need a kettle that can boil 5 cups of water. I'm going to have to put a lot of thought into pretty much everything, where I'm going to store things like toiletries. You know, I brush my teeth every night in this van, but you don't see any of that. What I have here is all of my toiletries are in like a little plastic tub, so I could do a similar thing to that. And just like, where am I going to keep my cutlery? Because obviously in this kitchen I have a drawer, a cutlery drawer, but in the new one I don't. So, and do I really need cutlery more than just for me? And if I do, then I can just bring extra if someone else comes with me. There's lots of little things to think about. And then I'm thinking about the next van build. You know, I've been sort of talking about building a family van so that I can actually go away with my family. The problem is, in this van, 3 seats, and I now have 2 children. Even if we just want to go out for the day, we have to take 2 cars if we want to take the van, which is not ideal. And the Vivaro's only got 2 seats, so that's even worse. But I built the Vivaro just to be sort of my toy. You know, it wasn't something that I built to be a sort of family van. It was just for me to be able to just go out on my adventures and be able to park wherever I want, essentially, and have a lot of sort of creature comforts inside. I'm thinking with the next van, originally I was thinking about going big again. But then I'm like, well, there's something nice about having a smaller van where you can just take it wherever you want, you can drive it wherever you want, and you can park it wherever you want. Okay, the headroom would probably be a problem with my wife and with my kids. What if I go down the sort of route of a pop top? What I want to do is this is just how my mind's thinking at the moment. I might completely change my mind later on this year when I start thinking about actually doing this, because I will be taking a little bit of a break from building vans, and because I'll just be out enjoying the Vivaro. So, but I'm thinking about like a VW T5 or T6, but I want a 4Motion, and anyone that is in the game of having a VW T5 or T6, they will know how difficult it is to get a 4Motion. And for anyone that doesn't know what a 4Motion is, it's a 4-wheel drive van essentially. It looks the same, it's just a 4-wheel drive. And I want to build like a swamper, and what a swamper is it's got big chunky wheels like what I've got on the Transit here, but it's a 4-wheel drive, so I can pretty much go wherever I want. I'm not really sure where I would use it around here. I just like the look of them. I think they look really, really smart. So that's the idea, but I'd want a pop top, but I'd also want a long wheelbase as well. So, and the problem when you buy VW is they are very, very expensive. So in order for me to afford that, I will need to be moving on this van at some point. I've spoke about raffling it, and the only reason why I want to do that is because even though I've not had any problems with this van for probably around about 6 months now, it drives really well. I kind of feel like if something goes wrong with it and somebody's paid decent money for it, then I might feel bad. Well, I will feel bad. So that's kind of why I'm thinking, well, if I raffle it, somebody will get a bargain, essentially. But the thing that concerns me about raffling it is if I don't sell enough tickets, I could lose a lot of money by just letting this go. And, you know, and this has been my livelihood, you know, for the last 2 years or however long I've had it. So I've got lots of sort of ideas going on in my head. I do love building camper vans, but like anything, whenever I do build a van, I need to have a break from it and just get out and start camping again. And I've got a lot of sort of good ideas of what I can do in that van with like videos and things, and like it should be quite fun. But I just love everything about that van, pretty much like how I could park in a B&Q car park next to a bunch of other white Vivaros with ladders on the roof, and absolutely nobody would know what was inside. You would think it was just a builder's van. And then bang, open it up and it's like, oh wow. I don't know, to me that's really cool. I think I'm going to just sort of chill out here for a bit. Might watch some YouTube and just sort of like have a little bit of a lay down, because yeah, I'm not feeling great, am I? Dinner for this evening, I'm going to do what I wanted to do when I went to Padstow and I didn't because I ended up eating out, is I'm going to have chip butties. Nice and easy, I can use the air fryer, nice. That's all right.
Yeah, have you seen a lady walking around with like a green parka jacket on at all?
No, I keep my eyes peeled though.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure that she's got this far. But I'm sure I've seen her at Hell's Mouth.
Yeah.
And then as I've turned around, checked my phone and come back again, disappeared.
Right, okay.
So I walked.
So I just spoke to a community support officer. She's outside. She is, I thought, oh, are we getting moved on or something? Because it's me. I mean, it's middle of the day, so it shouldn't be. but she said that they're looking for somebody in a green coat, some lady. So I've got to keep my eyes peeled now. Right, let's get all the curtains pulled. It's getting dark. It would appear that my neighbours are here for the night as well by the looks of it. I feel for the guy in the car next to me though, he's got a dog in there, and no doubt it's going to be cold, isn't it? It's going to be colder in a car than it is in a van. These cars aren't insulated like vans are, but not only that, they can't really have a heater on unless he has the engine running, so. Right, the heating's warming up. It's literally, the temperature just dropped really quickly then. Right, so now that it's nice and toasty in here, it's time for chip buddies. 200 for 13 minutes. This is probably one of the easiest dinners you can make in your van. Chips, bread and butter. I mean, you could put ketchup on it as well, but I just want the butter, you know? I know that some of you think that I have a really unhealthy diet, but just to be clear, in the week I actually eat very healthily, but when I come out on these trips I just eat what I want, you know, because it's once a week and, you know, it's not going to matter. Someone actually said in my last video that they thought I'd lost weight, and I appreciate that because I have lost weight because of all the extra surfing that I said I've been doing and everything. That, you know, I'm getting more exercise now, and I've not had a beer. I've not had any alcohol for like 6 weeks. And originally I wanted to go an entire month, and then I decided I'm just going to keep going and see how long I can go for. I haven't even had any non-alcoholic beer. So my drink for this evening will be a Pepsi Max. Oh, I think they're done. Look at that. These chips are like the perfect size for this bread. I would say that I planned that, but I really didn't. Lid on, push it down. Let the warmth of the chips do its magic. You did not disappoint. So, what was that? Was that like an echo? Hello? Weird. Oh, I'm echoing here. Anyway, wait. Is it that? Anyway. Oh my god, that's really annoying me. I wouldn't say I'm a minimalist or anything, but having too much stuff doesn't give me anxiety, but it stresses me out. And one of the problems when you have a big van with lots of storage space, which is what I've got, it just gets filled with stuff you don't need. I'm a very big, like, strong believer of everything has a place and everything should be in its place. And I kind of did that in this van. I kind of put everything where I wanted it, but then I just end up forgetting that I've got stuff. And one of the things that I'll probably be doing in the next van, because I am going to have limited space, is I'm not going to just be like always having food on me. I have tins in that end drawer there that have been in there for 2 years, and I've never eaten them because I always go shopping before I come on these trips, and if I don't, I normally eat out. Having sort of emergency food is always good because you can just go away on a whim if you want to, but there's no need to be carrying as much. And there's all that extra weight in the van which puts your fuel consumption down and everything. So I'm thinking once I've got the Vivaro all set up, I really want to organise those sort of cupboard doors and everything and get everything in its place. The only emergency meal I will have in the van will be like one pot noodle, and that's it. I've been getting a lot of questions as well about what the situation is with my Max fan. Obviously it doesn't work anymore, it keeps coming up with this green light. And I think what happened when I was charging the batteries that time, I think it must have got like a power surge which was too high for what it should have been, and now it doesn't work. So before I sell this or raffle it or whatever I decide I'm going to do, that will need to be fixed. Somebody said that you can just change like the circuit board in there, which is probably a fairly easy job, but worst case scenario, I'll just take the fan out, the whole unit, obviously leaving the frame that's glued into the top of the van and just replace it. Yes, they are about 350 quid, but if I'm going to be selling the van, I want everything to be working. Because of how dark it is out there, what I would like to do is go outside with all my curtains up and everything and just see how dark it is looking at the van, because I was doing something out in the van the other day and I had the lights on and I completely forgot. And then I went home and I was pretty much in bed, and then I just like woke up and thought, did I turn the lights off in the van? And I walked up to the van, and obviously no curtains were pulled or anything, and the inside lights were on, and it was like shining like a beacon. With no curtains, it is pretty bright. So I would like to see just how much of this light I can block out with these curtains. Right, so what I want to do is just make sure that all of this is folded up nicely so it's not letting any light through, and we'll have a look. But I'm going to be really disappointed if it's showing loads and loads of light. I mean, the stealth fan's not going to let any light out. I've worked really hard to make sure that doesn't happen. Here's the outside of the van. That car has gone, so it doesn't look like they were staying there for the night. So, looking at the van, there's a little bit of light coming in through there, but that's just because I've not got my blind on properly, but I can sort that. Coming around the front, there's a little bit of light out the top. There, look. But other than that, it's pretty pitch black. Also, this is how loud my diesel heater is from the outside. The exhaust is just in there, if you can see it. You can get the light in there. That pipe. So that's the diesel heater exhaust. Pretty quiet, to be honest. Right, well, I'm going to get into bed. I'm probably going to keep the heating on tonight because I don't really want this getting any worse. So I need to be nice and warm. 2 bottles of water for tonight. It's quite warm in here. I am not sleeping in my clothes. No way. Oh, I was going to tell you as well who's won the Blue Yeti giveaway. It's this person here. I got over 1,000 comments on that video of people saying Blue Yeti. So if that's you, you're very lucky. All you need to do is just email me your details, and then I'll get it sent out to Blue Yeti and they'll get it posted out to you. So congratulations. I kind of want to do sort of like a lot more sort of giveaways and things like that. Just even if it's stuff that I've got that I don't use anymore. I think it might just be a bit of fun. It will be random. I'll just be like, I'm doing a giveaway. Who wants this? Leave me a comment and then someone will win it. And then I'll just get it posted out to you. Let me know if you think that's a good idea. And I mean, everyone likes free stuff, don't they? Anyway, I'm going to watch a film and I'll see you in the morning. Good night. I've had a few vehicles drive by. Nobody's actually got out their car, but the last one I actually got up and I saw him. It's a big sort of like Land Rover Discovery or something, but he just sort of come, do the rounds and drive off. No beeping of the horn or anything to wake everyone up, but it just seems a bit odd why cars would be driving past at midnight. Just like, maybe they're looking for a place to go dogging. But anyway, this will be me saying goodnight properly now. This will be the last time you see me tonight. Fingers crossed. I'll see you in the morning. Stay there. This is the part of the video where I would say I had a really good night, but I didn't sleep well at all. It wasn't the cars pulling up throughout the night and driving away. It was literally, I just couldn't get comfortable. It was either too hot in here or too cold. I had the diesel heater on the lowest setting. I tried to turn the temperature down, but it didn't really do a lot. And I was just getting really hot and bothered, and then I'd turn it off, and then like, it would stay warm in here for quite a while because it's really well insulated, but I'd drift off and then I'd wake up really cold, and then I'd have to wake up and turn the diesel heater back on. So maybe it's just because I'm not very well and temperatures are sort of a bit all over the place because I don't normally have a problem with that. But yeah, wasn't the best night's sleep I've had in the van. So that silver car that was outside yesterday is back. So he must have come back in the middle of the night. I bet he was cold in there. Right, well, it's 8 AM. I'm gonna go home. This is the Karcher window vac. People always ask me how I clear my windows in the morning. With one of these, I'll link it below. It's really good. I mean, it does drip a bit when it's really sort of condensated, but most of the time, it's really good. The best thing to do, which I haven't done, is when you're using it, put a towel down on your dashboard to stop any sort of drips coming down, because you don't want that going into any mechanisms or anything in your van. So thank you to everybody that continues to support the channel through buying me a beer or through my memberships. You're all absolute legends. And other than that, I'll see you next week, and hopefully I'll be fit and well. And the final video of the Vivaro build will come in one video. So all these little jobs I'm doing now will come out in one video, and that'll be it. Then it'll be done and I can start using it. And I can't wait. But it might take me a few weeks just to get these little jobs done. So hang in there, it will be done. And yeah, I'll see you then. Cheers!